Hello, this is the second episode, and I want to talk about why most engineers never make it to be staff. So this is kind of a question that some people asking me about. Okay, so I know how to code, and I've learned how to work better within the team. But what would be the best idea of how can I actually be a staff engineer? So this is quite difficult. It also depends on which company you're working in. So the core idea here is most engineers don't get stuck because they're bad. I mean, it's not because your technical abilities are bad. It's because the staff engineer is a bit of a different view over what you're doing day to day. So they get stuck because they optimize for the wrong game. So this is the wrong game discussion, which practically goes to what's happening with the prioritization. So, and what does that mean? Like, as a staff engineer, do I need to prioritize? So this is basically the question. So staff is not a senior and it's completely different job. So what's the difference? It's like if a junior was just like implementing tasks and it was given a task and they go and make it done, then the senior goes and owns and deliver it. So a senior engineer would deliver, that's 100%, right? But staff engineer needs to do a bit more, meaning it needs to ask more longer term questions. Like, is this good within 2 years time? Or the way I'm doing it, is it good for the entire business? Or the way it needs to be done, does it align with everything else within the company? So a senior engineer just make it happen and just make it done, but a staff engineer needs to be more aware of what's happening within the company, within the product and everything. So it asks bigger questions, so longer term thinking, right? So you don't get promoted for doing your current job better, you get promoted for doing a different job. So staff engineer, if you like, it's not like it's senior and then put it into a staff engineer, you suddenly become staff engineer. So scope shift is senior asks, what should I build? And they're giving a task and then they're going to own it. But staff engineer says, should we even build this? So this is like practically a big question, right? Imagine someone gives you a task and then suddenly you're like, do I even need to do it? And it shifts from my feature to the organization level problem. So this is a different level of ownership. So that means you also understand the product and you can ask a question which is better for the product view, not just, for example, as an engineer, right? So a staff engineer thinks in system, not tickets. So this is probably the biggest thing you want to know, which is, okay, staff engineers don't think in tickets, right? So you might end up creating tickets, but you're not actually doing the specific ticket because you were given to. So the execution trap is being great at execution. So that's like you don't want to necessarily do that, right? If you're just good at execution, then yeah, you can't be a staff engineer. Everyone rewards you for it, you stay stuck, right? So that's something, if you're really good, you need to change your perspective to say, what am I not doing to be a staff engineer, right? So you're always busy but not growing into a staff. That's practically your blocker. And then the missing is you need to probably get more involved within this discussion, which is architectural decisions, strategy building, and tech direction, right? So these are the big decisions that you need to kind of discuss and then get into it, right? Execution can become a golden cage. So if you're just executing, then you're missing the big picture. And if you're missing the big picture, you're not a staff engineer. So simple as that, right? So communication, the right work. At staff level, you're writing, you're communicating, you're kind of going with a clear designs, you're talking about trade-offs, influence decisions, you might teach it to the other people. So these are the stuff you're doing. And then the hard truth is less technical people may get promoted if they get communication. The communication is actually better. So the communication is the key. If your ideas don't land, they don't exist, right? So that's practically, you want to kind of talk and then communicate and come up with the good points. Influence without authority. So you don't own everything. So you're not the owner of any service, but you make decisions. So that means you're coming up with proposals that they end up as a decision for the company. You build trust. Everyone knows you're capable. You're consistent. You pick your battle. So there might be a lot of stuff that you need to fix within the company, but you go one at a time, right? So you go 1, 2, 3, and then you build it one after another. So, and then you also unblock other teams. So staff engineers don't push harder, they actually align smarter, which means they align better with the entire company. So what to actually do is expand your scope. I think step back, think about it in a better perspective, write more. So you want to go with the design and, for example, postmortems and internal proposals. So you want to kind of write more. So this is what's happening, or draw more. I think I go with the drawing more. Drawing more of the architectures and discussions and, so how to explain something. Get closer to the business, so talk to the PMs and users. So you want to understand the PM's view, and then your PM can easily communicate with you because you also understand the product. So find a sponsor. So that means you want some people that they are willing to discuss stuff better with you. So not advice, you're actually looking for opportunity. So is it like your manager, it might be your director or anything. So you want to kind of discuss it better as well. So practically what we want to kind of summarize with this episode is, if you are a senior engineer and you want to be this big guy in a company that is doing a lot more, so what you need to do is to change your mindset. So practically change it. So bigger or wider view of the entire system. And then once you're into that mindset, then your discussions are going to shift to say, actually, what's the architecture? Do we need this feature? Is the priorities fine, right? Then you go there, and then once you're there, everyone or the PMs and your communication actually goes better with your product manager, and then you're there to kind of unblock other teams, right? So the other teams, they know you well as well. Then you're practically unblocking the features and you can actually do better. And probably you're leading or, for example, helping others as well. So that would be like teaching or something like that. So this is practically how you become a staff engineer. So keep that in mind. Hope you enjoyed this episode. It's just like one of my shortest episodes as well. And I'll see you in the next video, and let me know if you have any comments on this.